Welcome to the channel, everybody. Vintage lenses are a great way to add creativity to your photographs when you're using modern digital mirrorless cameras. But how do you take these vintage lenses and make them work on your digital mirrorless camera? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, so stick with me. Alright, I've done a few videos on vintage lenses and modern digital cameras, but I have not done a video on how to take these vintage lenses, adapt them, and then connect them to your digital mirrorless camera. And I had someone that watched one of my earlier videos and left me a comment asking about that. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this video, and stick around to the end because I do have a bonus tip for you about making sure that your camera settings are correct. Let's talk about these adapters. So the adapters come in many different sizes and different brands make them, and most importantly, they have different mounts. These different mounts are based on what kind of vintage lens you're using and what kind of modern digital camera you're using. And the adapters are essentially a tube that ensures the distance between the back of the lens is the right distance away from the sensor on your digital camera. So these adapters work great with your mirrorless camera so that you can use these vintage lenses. Alright, so let's connect one of these lenses to the digital camera and show you how it's done. So essentially you take your lens and make sure that you have the right one. Wait for the click. Most of these will seal pretty well and they feel pretty solid. And then what you're going to do is connect that, and I tend to always hold my camera down when I can because I don't want to get any dust on the sensor, but then connect that to your digital mirrorless camera and you are ready to go shoot. Okay, now for that bonus tip about making sure that your settings are correct. So some cameras will just work without any question when you put that vintage lens on there and fire the shutter. Some others might not. So I know, like with the Fuji GFX 50S, you have to go into the menu and there is a section in the menu that says shoot without lens. And the factory settings for this has this turned to off. And you need to switch this to on so that vintage lenses work. Essentially, the camera is looking for electronics and these vintage lenses don't have them. So if you're having trouble once you attach a vintage lens to your camera, make sure to check your camera and check the settings to see if there's something that you have to turn off or on to make them work. Well, I really hope that you learned something new and you got something out of this, and I hope that it really pushed you to go out and try to use a vintage lens on your modern digital camera. I really find that these lenses are a lot of fun to use and boost my creativity to a whole nother level. Alright, if you like this content, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Have you used vintage lenses? What's your experience? Leave me a comment below. If you have questions or if there's a specific video you want to see, don't forget to leave me a comment. And if you want to see more about vintage lenses and why I think you should use vintage lenses, check out this video up here, and until next time, enjoy your photography journey.